typically. You're not going to go
No,
to a club.
I'm good. I'm having fun. I'm having fun not going out. I'm chilling.
Really? Huh?
Yeah, I don't go out.
Bro, Parker, you got to go. Where you at, Parker?
I live in Los Angeles and I don't go out.
Oh, hell no. When I go to LA, bro, I'm dragging you out, broski. We going out, broski.
No, I'm good.
Anyway, going back on topic. When it comes to that, that's what I'm trying to give your worldview for, because my worldview, you have to come to a certain ultimatum, and you said breaking up, and then I said even breaking up, that's still an ultimatum. The only
No, it's
difference,
not an ultimatum. You're just breaking up.
come on, now you're playing semantics. So when
How is that?
if
How is
you
that semantics? An ultimatum is you do this or we break up. Just breaking up with someone isn't an ultimatum.
yes, it is. If you're
How
okay,
is it? You didn't say do this or I'll break up with you. You just broke up with them.
because you still did the action. What happened? Okay, let me ask this question, Parker. When a man says, "Okay, you did this, I don't like it. Okay, let's break up." And what's going to happen after that? She's going to be like, "Oh no, I'm sorry. I won't wear the dress. Oh, blah blah blah. Okay, okay, I won't wear the dress." It's the same shit. It's just one you're vocalizing what's going to happen. The other one you just did what's going to happen.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen, right? I think that generally speaking, probably most women would be like, yeah, I'm just gonna wear this piece, right?
I don't know what world you are living in, bro. But generally speaking, if you are in a relationship and you say out the blue, hey, your friend gave you the dress, the same exact scenario, and you say, hey, we're gonna break up because this is not working out because obviously you want that dress and I'm not the type to be with a girl that wants this type of dress. A woman is typically going to say, oh no, I don't have to wear the dress. It's okay. It was just stupid idea anyway. Okay, I won't wear it, blah, blah, blah. And she's not going to wear the dress, and you're going to get the same results you would have got by just talking and communicating with her of saying, hey, this is the reason why I don't want you wearing a dress, etc. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so I don't think so, right? Because you're assuming that it is only going to result in this particular outcome, right? Which again, I would say is unlikely to happen.
Okay, then what outcome would it be other than
I
you
just told
not
you.
going to, no, hold on, without, other than
Peace,
you not
peace,
going,
bruv.
without, no, without you going to the club or you breaking up with her? There's the only two outcomes. Those are the only two outcomes. If she is,
If you
uh,
don't have the same values as her when it relates to like what you wear or something, and that's a big issue with you enough to like say that you're gonna break up, just break up. Just break
I got,
up. Seriously, just like don't be in a relationship with someone. Don't try to be in a relationship. Don't give an ultimatum to someone that literally just doesn't want to dress the same way that you would expect.
okay. I would actually agree with you on that. The only difference, the only pushback I would give is that sometimes, and I'm about to have the chat go crazy, but here we go. We can go down this road. Sometimes you have to train the craziness of societal programming out of women as well as men.
What do you mean
I
the
thought,
craziness of societal programming?
um, for example, just off the top of my head, be free, sexualized. You do what you want. You can have S, which I don't know if you can use the word.
Dude, how about this? How about just engage with people that have already developed the same values as you have? Right? Stop trying to train people.
No, no, no. That's why I said I agree with you first. I want to be clear. I agree with you first. But sometimes you will get to a person that is, I don't know, 90% close to what you want them to be, but you have to train a 10% out of them. And for
What do you
example,
mean by
right?
train?
Oh my God, I just explained. If you are a man living in 2023 in the United States, we live in a very sexualized marketplace of a woman, oh, free to nip, do what you want, no man can control you, don't listen to no man.
Wait. What's wrong with free the nip?
Well, first of all, to me personally, there's nothing wrong with free to nip, but I'm just saying that at a certain point, modesty is something that's very important to men, right? Modesty is something that a man want modesty, a man want purity. A man doesn't want a woman that's going to be free to nip. Oh, I don't care. Oh, I'm living free. Like to take her seriously, most men are not going to be okay with that. But I don't want to deviate from the point. From the point is,
Yeah, so like Sarah, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. So then be with people that you think fit that value.
and I like I said,
Don't quote unquote train people to that.
I'm using words specifically to to go make the comments go crazy. But
Oh my God,
um,
don't do that either.
but the point is, at to some degree you will have to train. I'm gonna still use that word. You still have to train some percentage of the women that are around you. Now, if you was to talk about passport bros and going outside the country, that's a different topic. We talk about that, whatever. But I'm talking about here in the United States. A certain culture is a certain way, and certain women are a certain way. If you are a man, you can't find a conservative, very feminine, very loyal, low body count, extremely attractive woman. There's not just enough of those to go around. There are not enough high value men. There's not enough high value women to go around. So you will have to compromise on the woman that you get. To compromise on the woman that you get, that means you are not getting your best suited candidate for you and your personal beliefs and boundaries and preferences. So by default, you will have to change, coerce, manipulate,
Then
train,
then
whatever
then
you
then
want.
what you should do is you should say that you prefer values over the level of attractiveness of your partner, right? Or the level of the other characteristics that you're referencing. If you're saying that you need to change, right? You shouldn't coerce and manipulate someone under the guise of quote unquote training them just because you have a notion of like you don't have any other choice.
It's not the notion that you have don't have a choice. It's the notion that she's pretty much all you want. It's just a certain programs from society that you have to train out of her. And that's going to be
Dude, no,
majority.
it's not what you want because again, she has different values than you do.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you are a man, right, and you live in 2023 in the United States, and you want, most men want what I'm about to list. You want a very feminine, very attractive, very loyal, not really on social media, not really going to nice bars, clubs, etc. It has a good, strong parental family, strong ties with her dad, etc. I'm just naming stuff that most men want. Are most women going to have that?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the characteristics. Probably not.
No.
If it depends on what your notion is.
No, most women do not have that, point blank. So if they don't have that, that means most women are not going to fit your criteria for a woman that you would want. So you are going to have to compromise, train, manipulate, whatever words you want to use to actually get her to the point to where
You
you
don't
want
need
her
to
to
do
be.
those things to be able to do that. Again, you're saying that you because you have a lack of opportunities when it relates to finding people that have your particular values or have these particular wants that you have, that you
Mhm.
then right should necessarily just try to uh, train someone or coerce them and manipulate them into believing what you want them to believe, right? I think that leads a lot of people to be negatively impacted in terms of relationships, clearly speaking, because I don't think it's going to be effective, right? I think that manipulation and coercion, right, would literally maybe last for like a little bit, right? And then someone would like realize that they don't want this and then leave, right? And not only to mention all the traumatic effects that there would be as a downside of the fact that they had to try to necessarily fulfill that particular standard that they were being coerced into
Okay.
that they
So,
didn't want to fulfill. Like again,
um,
it's just like if they don't want to do that, you should just literally try to be with people that if you care about this so much that it means that you break up with someone. Do you care about other things insofar as that you'd break up with someone in terms of how attractive someone is?
yeah, I was just, well, first of all, I wouldn't get with them, but yes, to answer your question directly, yes. This might make your comments go crazy again, but I'll give you a scenario to go down your road that you just gave. Let's say, for example, you meet a woman, she was attractive to you. Let's say she's an eight, you're an eight. You stayed in shape, she started to lose shape, not because she had a baby, not because any traumatic experience or whatever. She just started to let herself go to not be disciplined enough to actually stay in shape, and she gets unattractive through that because now she's getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, right? Then yes, by default, you are going to be less attracted to her because now she's overweight.
No, I'm asking you, is that something that you'd break up with someone because of, right? Would you break up with
Yes.
someone because not because of something that they did in terms of their actions, in terms of if it was say like a choice or something, but if it was because of say they were taking some sort of drug that was
Mm-hmm.
like for their health, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they gained weight because of the drug that they're taking because of their health. Would you break
Mm-hmm.
up with them in that context?
I would have to add more context. Is this drug going to be? She can't lose the weight. And I've been because I'm a person that actually likes to try. I actually like to work with a person that actually
Let's
like
say
to,
that this person has to be on this drug for the rest of their life.
and she's going to be now that weight for the rest of her life too.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have no choice but to break up. If you're going to tell me that, hey, I got with this person and here's the idea that I had for this person and the life that I envision, etc., and then I guess 2 years later I found out that she has to take a drug that is going to make her significantly more bigger. Let's just use bigger to not offend too many people. Bigger, and she going to have to be that size big for the rest of her life. Yes, I have to.
Okay, so let's say that your partner aged. They took some drug and it made him age 50 years.
Damn, Parker,
Right?
what the fuck?
Physically speaking, they're the same age and they're going to die at the same time as they would have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they aged 50 years
Mm-hmm.
particularly,
Yes,
right?
I would still have to let him go.
You'd still not you'd never engage with them.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
so it's
Yeah,
not about the values for you. It's not about anything else, right? In that scenario, it's about the level of attractiveness. Okay, so you'd say every single one of your standards that you named there would mean that you don't actually and would you'd break up with them if they didn't meet the standard.
that was only for attractive standards. There's a lot of other standards as well as value standards. We were just talking about attraction right now. So
Yeah,
yes,
no. So you said that if someone doesn't have the values in terms of like the clothes or whatnot, you'd break up with them, right? Because you think that like this is going to be something that's bad when it relates to these characteristics. So shouldn't you then just necessarily just wait to find someone that has those characteristics instead of trying to change them into having the same characteristics as you? Because they could do the
great
same
question.
thing to you. What if they didn't like say well, if, for example, right, let's say that you have particular conservative values or something like that. They want to change you, right? Or actually, you
Mm-hmm.
do. They want to change your beliefs here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they think this is a red flag, someone that they don't want to be with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't like
Mm-hmm.
men that are like this, and they didn't know that you thought this way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are you saying that? How should they bring that up to you?
I would say just have a conversation. To be honest, this cannot apply to me because I have thousands of videos talking about the same exact shit everywhere. And anyone that's going to get involved with me, they're going to see these videos and say, "Oh, that's how he thinks." Okay, blah 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 blah. So I can't really equate and put my mind in that scenario because I'm very open with my beliefs, etc.
Yeah. So, but I mean, if it is the case that they, that they didn't know, right, and then they found out, how would you expect them to bring it up?
I was expecting just to ask about it and say, "Hey, these are my points of contention. Hey, I don't like this. I do like this, etc." But then again, we can go
So
here.
would you be okay if she said, "Stop saying this"?
Yeah, she can say whatever she wants to. That don't mean I'm going to listen.
Do you think it's okay for her to say, "If you don't stop saying this, I'm going to break up with you"?
Yes, I think that's perfectly normal. But if I'm going to say,
Even if
no,
you're in love?
yes, because everyone has their own boundaries and preferences. It's okay to say I can be head over heels for a girl, but if she breaks any of my boundaries or preferences, I'm out. It's just that simple. I could be literally head over heels in love. We could have a relationship of three
Do you not
years.
understand how that could be bad though? Because there are going to be individuals out there that don't necessarily place those boundaries in that particular way, right? So if someone violates your boundaries, that you just like immediately would break up with them. Because in this scenario, you're saying that the woman should just break up with you because you told her to wear clothes like this that she didn't want to wear. That's what you just justified.
Again, so when it comes to anybody that has a boundary, I would say everyone, if you have a hard boundary, you should definitely break up. And I actually agree with what you said earlier, which is you should try to find someone that fits your mode of what you want that person to be already. But I understand life and I understand society and I understand the world that we live in. You're not going to find that. A girl's not going to find a dude that's 6'2", that makes $100,000 a year, that's super in shape, that's handsome, that's loyal, that's attractive, that doesn't really go out and mess with women, even though he's very capable of, as well as you're not going to, as a man, find a very feminine, attractive, loyal, low body
Those can
count.
happen, right? By the way, like the people
No,
like
no,
that
no, no.
exist.
They can happen, but it's just because it's possible don't mean it's probable, right?
Yeah,
So,
I'm not arguing it's probable.
okay, then yes, I would agree. It's possible. Yes, 1,000%. But it's
Okay.
not probable. So for general people, you have to some degree say, okay, I understand that I'm going to try to get this woman, but I'm not necessarily more likely not going to get this woman. That's it. So when
Yeah,
it
but
comes to
the idea is that you shouldn't try to control someone because of that particular claim.
I get what you're saying, but I still disagree. And the only pushback I would give is typically, and here I'm about to blow up the comments again, men are islands and women are boats. So typically what happens, I knew it, I knew you
What
were
does
gonna make
that
that face.
mean, bro?
Okay, men are islands, women are boats. That typically means that when two people get into a relationship, let's say heterosexual, so a man and a woman, the woman typically falls in the frame of the man, not the other way around. So typically, What you have, let's say you're an island of a gamer, right? The woman enters your world. She starts to pick up characteristics and things of you and of being a gamer. The music you listen to, she's going to start to like.
Silver, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much, Silver.
Everyone double tap. We almost at 700K. 700K. Double tap, double tap, double tap. Um, as a man, she's going to fall into your frame typically. So when she falls into your frame, she's going to like the same music you like. She's going to be in the same places you like to go to. She's going to fall into your frame. But typically, it doesn't happen the other way around. Make sense?
So, what do you mean by fall into the frame? Do you mean just do things that you would want from them?
You can use that definition, but I'm so
I
more.
mean, I disagree with that. There's literally this thing that goes around. You probably heard it that like a man once he gets into a relationship with a woman that like he starts dressing differently. He starts taking care of himself more. Right? Isn't that him falling into the frame of the woman?
Good question, but I don't think so. I think fall into the frame of the woman would be him saying, "Oh, bro, babe, don't go to the gym today." Blah 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 blah. And then he's like, "All right, I
Oh,
won't go to the
no,
gym."
they're saying you should wear these types of clothes. These clothes will make you look good.
Oh, you're coming from that angle.
Actually, this is probably a better angle, right? If you have an issue with what your partner's wearing, literally just say don't necessarily say not to wear those, right? Say you like clothes like this, and that might incentivize them to get clothes like that, right? And to wear
Perfect.
those clothes,
I
right? So
agree.
that's a way to not necessarily like say, oh, you can't wear this, but to incentivize them to wear clothes that you think look good.
I agree. I 1000% agree. I'm glad we came to that conclusion together. I actually 1000% agree. I do not disagree whatsoever. But the only difference is of the example that I gave is no matter what the scenario is or how you frame it, you still are not going to allow that person to go out with that clothes on. That's so. But I'm glad we got to the conclusion of how to actually go about that. That's perfect. I'm glad we got there. But go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Oh, sorry. So like, wait, sorry. Say that last point you just made.
Fuck, I forgot now. I
No,
said
I literally, I had it. I had a response. I just looked at something because someone sent a message and I just forgot it immediately.
okay. Then let me rephrase because I remember.
There's something to
So
allow apparently.
yeah, yeah. So the example I gave was at the end of the discussion, regardless of how you got there, you're still not going to allow them to go out to the club or bar, or you're just not
Oh no,
going to.
you should allow them. What the fuck? Um, like it should never be the case that you don't allow someone to like go out to something
Hmm.
in that context. That's absolutely controlling. Again, you can like express like a preference, like I don't like this in a sense, right?
Hmm.
Not in terms of you can't wear this or I'm not going to allow you to do this, right? Again, you can literally just break up with that individual.
Okay, I get
It
what
should
you're.
never be the case that you say, "Oh, I'm not going to allow you to wear that out." Like,
I don't know why y'all have such problems with such words, right? For example, for me, allow. That's why I keep saying and I keep harping on. You're not threatening violence. You're not threatening any physical altercation. None of that shit. All right, we're throwing that out the window. That's just gone. Allow to me or allow controlling or whatever. All of this means is the same thing. At the end of the day, you are not going out with this woman with this dress, and it's at
that does not mean
700K.
allow. Not allow would be like you would not like allow them to go out. Appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. Not that you wouldn't go out with them, right? But that you would like stop them from doing so.
Oh, okay. If you mean in that context, then yeah, I wouldn't care what they do afterwards. If I'm breaking up with them and they gonna wear that dress regardless, and they gonna go out, hey, do what you do, have fun. Don't fucking call
Yeah,
me
but
when.
the idea is that you shouldn't say like and hang it over their head of like if you don't do this right, then this is going to happen, right?
But what's the difference then you doing it?
You just did it. You didn't hang it
Parker.
over their head.
Okay, I get that, but oh my God. So it's still the thing that's going to happen is still going to be the same. The difference is now you're vocalizing it, and then that person is not doing it, versus you're breaking up with them, and then they're going to try to probably get back with you by not going, by not wearing a dress, etc. You're doing the exact same thing, and both could be construed as controlling to a lot of women or a lot of people in general,
How is it controlling to say like, "Oh, I didn't like someone's behavior, therefore I broke up with them."
because that's how a lot of women are going to take it.
There's no one that's going to say that.
Okay, the exact same scenario, right? You're saying, okay, you're not gonna wear this. I want to go out. You want to go out with this dress. Okay, that's not fits my boundaries or preferences. I'm gonna break up with you. blah blah blah, right? She's at your house already. She's already wore the dress. She's about to go out. They would consider that as, oh, he's being controlling because they was already about to go out, and now you're gonna make her feel bad, and now you broke up with her. You're being controlling. It's the same thing that they're gonna say. It's the same. It's literally the same thing. So if you're gonna say, hey, all right, I have this boundary.
I don't see, right, in terms of controlling someone there, right? Because you're just saying, right, like I'm not seeing relationships, I mean values, right, to the same degree in terms of this respect. So I'm not going
Mhm.
to engage in this relationship, right? Not in terms of you're putting it over their head to engage in this particular behavior,
Okay.
right? You're simply saying that, like, okay, this doesn't seem like we are compatible in this sense.
Hmm. I no, I agree.
It's that simple.
I agree, I've said this multiple times. I agree, but I think the exact same thing is going to happen at the end. That's what I think. I think the woman, once you do the exact same scenario that you gave, the example that you gave, she's going to start crying. She's going to start, oh, I'm sorry, I won't wear this dress. Blah blah. Let's get back together. Let's go out. Let's have fun. I won't wear this dress, etc. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
More.
so again, right? I I I think that you're just like taking that particular thing, right? If like I don't see this to be like a effective way to communicate that sort of thing, right? Because then it's relying
Mhm.
upon some sort of breakup to establish the relationship, right? Or something like that, or to establish like some sort of like compromise. It seems like, clearly speaking, you should have formed some sort of compromise before there was a threat of breakup,
Okay.
right? If there was good communication there, that would have been compatible. You know what I mean?
Parker,
That just
Parker,
kind of
Parker.
like demonstrates to me that like there's probably like some sort of toxic relationship there.
No, that demonstrates that a lot of times when people get together, there are things that you can't talk about up front, and there's things that you're going to have to go through, and there's fights and whatever words you want to use, disagreements, fights, things that you didn't know about the person, and when certain things get there, you have to communicate and get through those certain things,
Yeah,
right?
communicating does not say like I'm not going to allow you to do this and like you're not wearing that, right? That's not communication.
Well, yes, it is by definition. It's still communicating, but to the second point is,
That's not like I mean effective communication. Sorry, my bad.
no, it's still effective. If I
No,
was to
it's not
meet a woman.
effective.
I would disagree, Parker. I disagree. If you're a man and you meet a woman and you, let's say, on third date, y'all are like, okay, I actually do like you, you like me. We might have did the did, do the do. I don't know if you can say that word on here, but you might have did the do already, and you say, hey, I actually like you, you like me. Hey, these are my boundaries and preferences. I will not date someone that does this. I will not take serious someone that does this. I can't be with someone that does this. That's still letting them know upfront your boundaries and preferences, and they are hard boundaries and preferences. And now you letting them know upfront, and you communicating that upfront. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So like you express a boundary, right?
Mhm.
Again, there's a difference between expressing a boundary and between literally hanging it over someone's head saying that I'm not going to be with you, right, because of this particular reason, right?
Yeah, well, that's literally what I gave the example of, I'm not going to be with you because of this
Yeah,
particular.
I don't think that you're talking about expressing a boundary, right? I think that you're trying in that sense to hang it over that individual's head.
How? Oh my God.
What do you mean how? What do you mean how?
If you just met the
I
person.
literally we just had a multiple minute conversation of me explaining that. Do I really need to explain it again?
No, no, no. So I want to be clear. So you're saying by a person being open and honest and upfront with the things that they are not
It's not
okay
open and
with.
honest. When it relates to something like this, right? Clearly speaking, right? You are using that to get them to sort of respond in a way in which they're not going to do that.
No, a lot of
Clearly,
women would just no. A lot of women would just say, "All right, well, I won't be with you," and just it is what it is.
yeah. And then you're done, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That doesn't mean that you didn't do something in a manner in which was necessarily bad, right? Just because they responded in a way in which ended it. So confused.
Okay. I'm saying your thing that you said earlier was that it's a not effective way to communicate by saying your boundaries and preferences in a way that you say that.
That's not just setting boundaries and preferences. Setting boundaries and preferences would be like, yeah, generally speaking, I want, like, this would be like happening prior, right? Way prior to these types of events, not in
Mhm.
terms of them prior to going to this type of event.
Okay, to go down your road and to go down your path that you'll go leading down, I would still say to some degree I have to disagree because you cannot communicate every single boundary and every single preference before they happen. unless you are extremely experienced in relationships and she's extremely experienced in relationships and y'all extremely communicative with each other, it generally speaking,
when it relates to something like as general as this, you
how,
can you're doing it right now. What the
no,
fuck
no,
do you
no.
mean?
No, because I'm not doing it right now because if I'm doing it right now, I would be effective of saying, "Hey, here's a dress, here's a diaphragm of the dress to the butt to the boob area ratio. I don't want you to have this, I don't want you to have that." I'm pointing to different diagrams of dresses that I do like versus dresses that I don't like that got red marks over them, that's got cross marks over them. Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
what
that
is?
would be,
I honestly I don't know what is too much for. I really would like be
but that's
concerned
my point. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to
like
say.
is something that goes down to someone's knees, is that not enough?
No, it's not about the knees. It's about it could be about the amount of see-through it is. It could be amount of how much skin it is of being up to their pelvic areas, and every single second they got to pull the dress
Appreciate the
down.
panda. Thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate it.
Yeah, they got to pull the dress down. Like dresses like that, I would say is probably a no-go. If every single second, every time you walk, you got to pull your dress down, yeah, that's probably a no-go for me. Make sense?
Yeah, so would you be okay? So if you're against like men wearing like see-through stuff too, right?
Yes,
So if
if
there's
it's like
anything
see-through.
see-through, like are you against men wearing like gym shorts?
Gym shorts is not see-through, but okay.
Well, no, like you can like see outlines of things.
I don't. I'm not
I
necessarily.
appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Turn up, turn up, turn up.
Yeah, like I
Um,
mean, you can see outlines of things. So like clearly speaking, doesn't that seem like too much?
my disagreements when it comes to the girl dresses was not an outline of their body. It's more so, like I said earlier, the amount of how high the fucking dress is. But I don't want to go too specific when it comes to dresses. But to put your analogy with the men, I would say if it's a see-through boy shorts, then yes, that's probably going to be crazy. And if the girl says, "Hey, I don't want you going to the gym with your see-through fucking boy
The gray
shorts,"
sweatpants.
you would do. I wouldn't say gray sweatpants because that's not see through, but see through gray sweatpants. Then yeah, I would have a problem if someone came to me and said, "Hey, my girl had a problem with me wearing see through gray pants." I'm like, "Bro, don't wear see through gray pants. Look, what the fuck? Like, change your fucking pants. That don't make sense." So
Yeah,
yes, in
so
that context, I would agree.
yeah, so what about a shirt that shows a guy's nipples?
A shirt that shows a guy's nipples. Ah, man, you can't go down
That's
this road.
see-through.
You can't go down this road because we already know societal reasons why men nipples are okay, but women nipples have a
Oh, okay.
point of
So what is
contention.
that?
You already know. Like, there's a point of
I
contention
don't
when it
think there's
comes.
a justification for that.
You don't think there's a, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with you. I'm saying for me, preference wise, for a woman that I'm dating, I wouldn't want her to be free to nip, right? But if I'm in the world and I'm going out and about, yes, I would like occasionally to look at some nips and just be like, "Oh, that's cute. All right, cool," and keep going about my day. So
Okay,
I don't
that's kind of
necessarily.
weird, but like maybe you're projecting the way that you think about it. What I'm, dude, oh my God. Of course like the only sense is not that like it's holding men and women to the same standard. Of
Mhm.
course it's a, oh, I'm gonna think that some are attractive. Like, dude, I can't do it, bro. Like, is that how far you thought into it? That's all you've thought into it? That's
Is
fucking
what?
ridiculous, bro.
What, free to nip? No, no, I've thought a lot into this free to nip because I talk
You're
about
like,
these
oh
type
my
of things.
God, it would be attractive. It's not against same standard.
No, 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 it wouldn't be. It's not necessarily attractive. I'm saying my first point was about societal reasons, right? It's not societal normal for a woman to walk around without a shirt on, but a man that could walk around without a shirt, well, no problem. No one even bats an eye. No one cares. So everyone would be
Yeah,
like,
I
"Oh, I
don't
can."
think about normality. I don't think normality necessarily matters there.
Ooh, you don't? Ooh, how so? How so? Please
Why
explain.
does, please explain to me how normality does matter?
Because if a guy is in a normal situation, it's okay. For example, the analogy that you gave earlier, which is, oh, she's wearing a swimsuit at a place that deems swimsuits
I
normal,
don't think
right?
that's a justified reason either. So
Parker, what? Come on, bro.
I
Come on,
actually, I really don't. I really don't. I don't think that just because it's considered normal, that means it's then justified.
bro. Well, I don't want to go. Yeah, I know where you probably gonna try to take this, but we're gonna stay here for a
If
second.
it was normal for people to engage in
Yeah,
intercourse
I
in
know.
public, would it then be okay for you to engage in intercourse in public with your, like, do you think it would be, like, do you think it would be okay if your partner did that?
I wouldn't be okay with them doing that if I'm not okay with them doing that. But if I'm okay with them doing that and it's normal in society, then it would by definition be okay by doing that.
Okay, but whether or not it's normal in society doesn't determine whether or not you're okay with it. That's the point I was making.
Yes, it does. Because the point I'm making is, hold on, because now you trapped yourself. Because if in a society where you, yes, you did, yes, you did. Here's why. Here's why, Parker. Let me land the plane. Let me land the plane. If you live in a society where you grew up thinking that it was normal to do that, not you grew up thinking that it was not normal to do that, and now it became normal, yes, you're probably going to have a point of contention of you saying, oh, I don't like that. But if you grew up where that is normal, and now you doing those activities, you're not going to look at that and be like, you know what, that's not normal, I'm not going to do that. That's not typically how things work. Typically you grew up societal reasons, your parents, traditions, etc. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Typically, you grew up societal reasons, society, whatever. You're going to have those same typical values when you grow up. So you're not going to deviate from that. So you just trapped yourself because you can't go outside of things that you don't know. That's not normal.
I'm so confused how I trap myself. I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. If you grew up, right, thinking or having the notion that you can go out and have sex in public, that's normal, then there would be no comparable where it's not normal and you don't like it as a man, unless it's something that's seriously
Not
innate
normal
in
and you
you.
don't not normal and you don't like it.
Yes, I'm clarifying very specifically and using my words very specifically. If you are a man and innately you have no which way of yes or no on this particular topic, but on this particular topic you grew up where this is normal, then you are as a man are not going to have a point of contention by it not being normal. Make sense? Or am I speaking Chinese?
I actually I really don't get you, man. I just tried. The plane did not land.
Plane did not land. I like that. I
It did
like that.
not land. Yeah.
It did not land. All right. Really quickly. Point is, you as a normal society are going to act a normal way. If you change that, then you're going to know something different. If you grew up where having sex, okay, let me put this in French terms. We did not grow up in a society where having sex in public is a good thing, okay thing. So as a man, I can't fathom having sex in public being a good thing. But if I grew up in a society where having sex in public was normal as fuck, then I probably would have a completely different mindset and you would have a completely different mindset
Okay.
about
I
it.
mean, okay. I understand what you're trying to say there, but I don't think that just because it's normal means it's a valid reason to justify that. Like there are many things that have been normal throughout society. It's been normal for 12 to 16 year old little girls to be married to 30 to 40-year-old adult men. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. That's crazy. But in that time frame, that was normal and it was okay. By
But
default,
I
by
mean, but we wouldn't think it is okay, and just because it was normal doesn't mean it's okay.
by in that time frame, it was okay.
Oh, no, do
Like
we think it's okay under our views? No,
no,
right?
no.
Okay, so just because it is the case that it is normal in that circumstance does not mean that we consider it to be okay.
I would agree, but you
Okay, so
have
just because it's normal doesn't mean we consider it to be okay. Okay.
no. I'm just saying the context matters about the time framing. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's
Hmm.
it. That's literally
What
all
do
I'm
you
saying.
mean?
I'm saying, for example, if since you gave an analogy, let me give an analogy real quickly. I don't know. You in England and it's not that many people, and you had to date your what the royals do, like date their uncles and aunts, etc., blah blah blah. By he's like, what the fuck? At that time, it would be considered normal and okay for you to date or be with or have kids with your cousins, etc.
What point are you trying to make from that? What?
The point is, normal and okay is typically tied. Obviously, there are things that
I
are
would I wouldn't I would not think it's okay under my view just because it's considered normal, right? In order for family relations, I don't think they're consentful.
okay, and I
Dude,
get that.
I don't see it being normal in a society to be convincing, right? As to
And
why we should think that it's acceptable or okay, right? That might be a reason, descriptively speaking, as why many people do think that, but I don't
mhm.
think it means it's a good reason.
Okay, then let me ask you a question. Do you, and you got to be, it's going to be hard to ask this question because normally in debates, people can't answer this question. But if you had and you grew up in that world, would you think that it would be normal in that world and okay in that world?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, thank you. That's a real answer. Thank
Well,
you.
I mean, like it's what you think is normal is dependent on the society that you live in, right?
Thank you.
But I wouldn't, based upon my own brain and how I think now, just going to
Mhm.
that time period, I would not think that.
I
right?
agree.
But growing up in that society, I would have different experiences. I don't even know what I would believe given that as society, because
And
I would have been educated completely differently. I would have completely different friends. I would have been taught differently. I don't know what I would think.
okay, and that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is if you are a person and you grew up in a society where that whatever activity is normal, in your mind, more than likely, you're gonna think that it's okay. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I said you trapped yourself because normal and
Yo, David, I appreciate the motorcycle. Thank you so much. W David in the comment section, everyone. W David.
hey, W
Sorry, say it
David,
again.
W David. And smash that like button. Almost at 750. All right. For you, you would still normal and okay is typically tied. Obviously, there's things that are outliers that is not going to be
That's
normal,
in a
even if
descriptive
it's not.
sense, not in a prescriptive sense. So prescriptive being like what we think should be the case,
Mm-hmm.
descriptive being what is the case.
Got you. Got you. I understand that. I'm saying if you went back to that time period and you grew up in that time period, then you are more likely going to say that that's going to be okay. That's my point.
Okay, I don't think that's relevant, right? What I'm saying is that is it a justified reason for us to believe that? Not for like society, what would they believe? I'm saying is it justified for us to believe this?
Okay. To answer that question directly, no.
Okay, so that's the point.
Okay, I get that. I understand that. But going back to the point of it being normal when it comes to men and women and dynamics of relationships, there are certain things that you're going to be okay with, certain things you're not going to be okay with. And you, as a person, by putting a boundary and a preference on someone up front, I don't necessarily deem that as controlling, but you say that it is.
I don't think that you're just placing boundaries, right? I think what you're doing is you're doing an ultimatum.
Okay, but well, oh, okay. I want to finish with this. What's the
Are
difference between?
boundaries an ultimatum? No. Like,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yes, they are. What are
no,
you
they
talking
really
about?
aren't.
Yes, they are.
Not in all contexts, no.
How? Okay, explain, please.
Yeah, so like for example, if I have a boundary that I have like I'm not going to be with people that have cheated on me, right?
Hmm.
I am going to just leave someone who cheats on me. I'm
That's
not going to
that's
I'm What's up?
That's by definition an ultimatum because you're making an action that's ultimately ending the relationship.
I'm not That doesn't mean I'm positing it like to them directly. Appreciate the sage. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you for the cap. I appreciate it, Lindsay.
How so?
Wait, what do you mean how so?
Okay. If you're gonna say, hey, this is my boundary, and then you break up with that person, by breaking up with that person, that's an ultimatum. That's a
Um
deal breaker. That's a deal breaker.
so what do you mean by an ultimatum?
Okay. Ultimatum. I won't be with someone that cheats. That's to me, that's an ultimatum. That's a boundary. That's all of it's okay. Maybe the disconnect that me and you have is that
It's just what we mean by ultimatum.
yeah, exactly. So, and by boundary, because to me, boundary and ultimatum is pretty much tied to each other. So, if I have a boundary
Yeah,
with someone,
I know, but we just need to clarify what our definitions of ultimatum are.
got
Yo,
you.
Tank, thank you so much for the mystery firework. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Let's go. So, for me, a ultimatum is the equivalent of me saying I won't be in a relationship with a person that does this. But to me, that's the exact same definition that I would give for a boundary.
So, here. Wait, sorry. Can you define that again?
Okay. To me, an ultimatum is saying, hey, if you do this, I won't be in a relationship, whether that's in the relationship, before the relationship, or after relationship. To me, if I say I have an ultimatum or boundary, there are things that I'm not going to accept in a relationship or dating or even in friendship, no matter what it is, no matter what relationship.
Here's my point. So like, so an fuck, so an ultimatum, more or less, right, is gonna be something that is gonna be like here, like it says like a final demand or statement of terms, the rejection of which will result in retaliation, or a breakdown in relations. Whereas a boundary, like defined as like the limits that we would in rules we would set ourselves within relationships,
Okay.
right?
So my question to you would be contextually, when it comes to dating and relationships, what's the difference? If someone breaks your boundary, you're going to break up with them. If someone breaks your ultimatum, you're going to break up with them.
Yeah, so when it relates to like an ultimatum, right, that's going to be like a force or a threat, right, posed particularly, right? Whereas a boundary is not posed as a force or threat.
Okay. So, like I said, I want to clarify, we're taking the threat of violence out of this. The threat is only we breaking up. So, if that is the case, How could it be a healthy way of dealing with relationships?
Here. Let me clarify. Right.
Got you.
So ultimatum, final, after. Right.
Yep.
Boundary, before.
Got you.
Robert, I
So
appreciate the Venmo. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
maybe I'm just too much. What the hell just happened? Anyway, oh,
What do you mean?
no. I was like, what the hell, what just happened? But anyway, when it comes to ultimatums and boundaries, to me, they're still the same thing. Even though I hear the definition, I understand the definition. One is just before and one is just after. I understand that completely. But I'm saying in real life, it's pretty much no difference. One is, hey, I don't like this. Here's my boundary beforehand. Even it could be even before she does it. And then if she does it, or if she's about to do it, I say, hey, this is my boundary. Hey, don't do this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she does it and you break up, it's going to have the same ending no matter if it's a boundary or ultimatum. So in real life, it's still going to have the same effect.
Appreciate that, Mustache. Thank you so much. I don't think it has the same effect.
How so?
Right. Again, the point is that one is established before, one is known prior, one is known
Mhm.
before the action has occurred, and then the other one is known after, right, as a threat to stop engaging in the behavior.
Gotcha.
Right? Do
Okay.
this or that. That's a demand, right? The other one is not necessarily like going to be something that's demanded. It's going to be saying, right, this is something that I'm looking for in a relationship. If you're not willing to meet this, well, then clearly speaking, we aren't going to have gone into this circumstance in the first place, right? The other one is we're already in this circumstance, right? Now that we're in this circumstance, you either do this, right, or I'm gone right now, right? You do
Okay.
this or this happens to you.
Okay, I understand that. All right, and then to end it, because I know the people want new guests, and I get it, everyone. So let's end it with this. I do agree that boundaries and things need to be established. I do actually like the approach that you gave with saying, "Hey, I like this dress" versus "I don't like this dress." 1,000%. I really do like that perspective. Number three, I do not agree with you that boundaries and ultimatums are when it comes to society and when it comes to men and women dating wise is different. I think yes, on paper it's different 1000%, but when it comes to dating wise, you're going to typically get the same results for either. No matter if you do an ultimatum or a boundary, you're going to typically get the same results typically. And yeah, that's my final thoughts. And
Appreciate
oh
the
no,
handout. Thank you, Gigi. Appreciate you coming on, though. It was good talking to you, man.
yes sir.
All right, let's go to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We're just looking for some debates. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, everyone. It should help get it out to more people. You already know the deal. We're going to go into the next person, though. Only send a guest request if you disagree. If you think that a high body count should matter for women, but not for men, y'all. All right, man. All right. Tequila time. Oh my gosh. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? All right, we're going to go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. We're just looking for some debates, everyone. All right, all right. For some reason, it's not accepting this person. We're going to go to the next. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, y'all. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Chat, what is going on right now? I don't know what's going on. We're going to go into the next person. Keep tapping that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, 21. So you had me on previously. I just kind of wanted to rephrase if that's cool with you, man.
Yeah, do you think that a high body count should matter for women, but not for men, right?
Roughly, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, what was your reasoning for that?
just said body count matters more for women than men. And not because, like, let me rephrase this, not because either should be judged in a negative light, but because women take higher risks than men do at equal body counts.
Oh, didn't we already? We had like that really long conversation.
Kinda. I mean, ours was pretty short. I just said like medical examples like that include UTIs and things, right? So women with higher body counts statistically suffer more medical complications than men at the same body count, right? Same for STIs.
Yeah,
That
so
said,
if a woman is using an like a condom, right, and the man is not, right, what is then the case?
well, in the case it would be opposite, right? But that's just not all scenarios. So if that scenario is true, absolutely, right? But in other contexts, no, and statistics prove that.
Wait, so you would say in that context that it would?
In that context, yes.
Okay. Wait, so can you restate the point one more time? Sorry.
I just said that women take higher risks than men do at equal body counts. Medical examples being
You're
UTI.
just talking about okay, so in that example, it would be the case that they would be that if the individual is wearing a condom, that their body count would matter less than the man, right? So you know that women are more likely to use contraception and are more likely to use to actually test, which is why they are less likely to actually have STDs or STIs and stuff like that in the long run. Although when they engage in intercourse, they're at a greater propensity to be able to get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
So in a sense, it still matters more for the man, right? Because they end up getting more of these issues.
That could be
And
valid.
you can also, by the way, you can get UTIs from one partner. So it's not
Yo,
specific to
oh
engaging with
no.
multiple partners.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Though it is more common with multiple partners.
Sure.
Like there's
I mean,
more of
I
a
mean, I have to look at the stats on that.
I, I'm not gonna pull them up because let's try and keep it short, right? I know everybody wants more guests. But my second point, right? Moving on. Good point, by the way, on the first one. I hadn't thought about it in that light. My second point, though, was that women suffer far more psychological impacts than men do from sex. And in a perfect world, that wouldn't be true. Unfortunately, it is. And for the same reason, I wouldn't walk down the street in a high crime area wearing a Rolex. I wouldn't want my girl to go out drinking or clubbing in a very short dress. Emphasis on very short and not just short, right?
Yeah,
Um,
so by the way, like can you give me any reason to believe that like there's a greater risk or propensity to get violently assaulted or something given the fact that they're wearing a shorter dress?
I could tell you from anecdotal experience with previous girlfriends in the past that when they were wearing shorter dress or more sexual right outfits, they definitely got hit on more.
Well, I mean, the women in the chat have can tell you that they've worn dresses that are more revealing and they didn't get hit on as much, right?
Well, I
As
mean,
other days where they wore less or they wore
okay,
more.
let's rephrase that to a man though, like, and so we can think in terms of you and I, because neither of us are women, right? So we don't actually know. We can agree on that, but like, let's say you and I, like, if we have our shirts off, right, are we going to get hit on more or hit on less than if we had our shirt on? I like in personal experience, I've been hit on a lot more with my shirt off than I have with it on. So it'd be the same for a woman, right? If she wears something
This
that's
is
more
all personal
revealing,
experience, so this is why like it's going to be biased to the circumstances that we exist in selection, right? Based on the people that are around us in that circumstance.
so you would disagree at that point?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to determine that.
Okay. I mean that would be hard to argue with statistics, even if we both had them, right? Unless you unless you want to look them up.
Yeah, I don't have statistics right now. If you'd like to find statistics, you can.
Yeah, you cool. Give me a second.
I mean, how long do you think it would take to find?
Like a minute. I can move on to the next point if you need me to. I ain't trying to bore everybody here.
Do you wanna find something and then I can look for you in the guest box and then I can just add you up after the next person?
Yeah, yeah, you cool if I do a little recap though?
Yeah, sure. Like when you come back.
Yeah, I was just saying recap real quick.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay. So once again, my point's not that if a girl has a higher body count, that means she is anything that some people would say, right? Same like men and women should be judged equally based upon their body counts. Women just take more of a risk by having a higher body count than a man does. So to me, if I dated a girl, which I've dated multiple girls who have double my body count, but they're perfectly healthy, I don't care. I'm completely okay with that. It's more about values and priorities to me, not the body count. The only problem is there's more risk associated with higher body counts in women more than there is so men.
So your argument is just like solely risk based, but right, but I can give you
Yeah.
like a situation where there are greater risks, right, for particular races in terms of engaging in intercourse,
Well,
right,
I mean, we could.
or particular demographics that could relate to poverty, right, and in that circumstance, would you say that it would be like worse for someone whose body count is more predominantly well, I'll just give you a particular example, right? Poverty, right? If someone's in poverty, right, should their body count matter more because they're at a greater propensity for there to be harm targeted towards them than like someone who was born like as a billionaire's kid?
No, absolutely not. Though and let me clarify that though. With I don't think that takes away from the mindset of protecting yourself, right? So for me, speaking personal experience, I'm a man. I got roofied one time. Did not see it coming. I thought I had the immature mindset of I'm a man, so that can't happen to me. Well, it did, right? So in a perfect world, it wouldn't. I
Sorry to hear
hate
that,
that.
bro.
I appreciate it, man. It is what it is, right? But In a perfect world, it wouldn't happen. I'm just saying from my perspective, and my perspective wasn't like this before that happened because my thought process was slightly sexist in the way of I'm a man, so it's not going to happen. But it did. And so now my mindset is okay, I need to be careful with who I choose to interact with, or if I'm going out drinking, I'm going out clubbing, right? I'm not going to let everybody hit on me. I'm not going to wear things that people want to hit on me or that are super revealing. Kind of going back to your point with the other guy, right? He made the point where I wouldn't want my girl to go out in a sexual dress. And you said, and like he wouldn't be okay with that. And you said, well, would
You
he
guys
be?
keep assuming this though. Like you're assuming that like wearing less is like going to reduce the likelihood of there being something harmful happening to you. I'm just asking, what do we have any evidence to believe that? And that's why we're getting back into the point that I mean you were going to look up.
Yeah. Well, let me look it up as I talk to you. But my point with this last box wasn't so much. You good?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I have to like I was like grabbing something.
Oh no, you're good, man. My point so much wasn't so that it was more so that he made the standpoint of, well, if I'm not comfortable with what she's wearing, she can't wear it, right? And you made the standpoint of, well, if not comfortable with what you're wearing, can you wear it, right? My answer is, if I'm not comfortable with what she's wearing, I'd ask her to change if that's okay with her, right? That's up to her. I'm not gonna tell her what she can and can't wear. She can do the same to me, and I would respect it the same as I hope she would respect my opinion, right? That's a mutual thing. Um, but I let me see if I can find that stat real quick, my man.
Sure, sure. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Someone put a good point in the chat, right? Most people who get essayed actually are essayed by people that they do know and they are close to, right? So I don't think that someone wearing like a particular dress or going into public, right, is going to necessarily put them in this greater propensity that most people are referencing to like a high extent, right?
Do you think, I don't know how much higher it would actually be. Do you think that a man, right, if you or I went out with our shirts off versus our shirts on, do you think we would get more or less attention? And maybe not to like
But
statistically
not in like in a sexual way or like
in a sexual way. It's kind of like men
I don't
wearing gray
think
sweatpants, right?
necessarily, not necessarily.
No,
No,
depend on the
yeah.
topic, but kind of let's stick
Like
to.
I really actually I don't think so. Like maybe more people might look because like in certain settings, like if I was like in like a school, right, had my shirt off, maybe because people would just be like get confused, but not like sexually. I don't think so.
Okay, well let's take it as men, right? We wear gray sweatpants, right? Let's say it's a thinner material, shows an outline. Do you think we're going to draw more attention because of that versus if we were wearing gym shorts where you couldn't see an outline?
I don't necessarily think so. I actually really don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it has much of an effect there.
Okay, I guess I'll see if I can find it back and come back to you later on it. I don't want to take too much of your time. That said, I would say if you wear something more sexual, whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to get more attention, right? A lot of times that's good attention, that's positive attention. There's going to be a lot of guys who look at a girl and say, "You're absolutely beautiful. You mind if I get your number?" And she might say no, and he'd say, "Well, I hope you have a great night," right? Same for guys, but there with more attention also comes negative attention. And so once again, just as I wouldn't walk down the street with a Rolex in a high crime area, I wouldn't want my girlfriend to go out in a very short dress
Yeah,
to a club.
again, go find the evidence of that being true, of like that actually increasing the propensity of them getting harmed.
All right, fair enough. Fair
For
enough.
sure. See you then,
Um,
man.
yeah,
All
appreciate
right,
it.
everyone. Only send a guest request if you disagree. Tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. Everyone will help get it out to more people. Let's go on to the next person. If you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men, make sure to send a guest request right now. Again, y'all know I accept the first people who send requests, y'all. If you want to help get it out to more people, share the live as well. Let's try to get to 1,000 shares, y'all. Yo, Matt, I appreciate the epic GG. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. W Matt with the epic GG chat. W Matt with the epic GG. All right, we're going to go to the next person. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm going to try to get the next person up here. Again, only send a guest request if you do disagree, y'all. Let me try to get this next person. It's for some reason it's not connecting this person. Okay, for some reason it didn't connect this person. We're going to go to the next. Again, only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. You already know the deal. You already know the deal. All right, everyone. Yo, thank you for the happy Wednesday. I appreciate it, Blue Light. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Anyone here that guy Anthony King? I probably was. I mean, I was, of course, but yeah, give it a second, everyone. I'm trying to get to the next person. Sometimes it takes a second in between to get to the next person, everyone. Parker summoning British? I always do. What are you talking about? I always do. Okay, for some reason it's not accepting this person. Y'all chat. I might actually like at some point hit a little restart on the live or something like that. We might do that at some point. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What's up? How old are you?
Hello, this is
You got a huge echo, bro.
You got
Huge echo. Let's go to the next person. Again, only send a guest request if you disagree. Wasn't me. Thank you so much for the glowing jellyfish. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. New topic, y'all. What topic would y'all want me to do, everyone? If people would want a topic change, we could. I had an idea for a few things I was gonna do. What do y'all think about this idea? Because you know how people like recently have been coming up and like calling me beta and stuff. Prove to me that I'm beta. I think that would be a really funny good topic. I see a lot of people saying Trump. Appreciate the sail away. Thank you so much. I just like I don't know. I think we're too late to like where it wouldn't be like a long live. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What's up? I'm 30 years old.
For sure. Do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
I think a high body count should matter for both, but more specifically, I think it should matter. It's extremely important for women though to keep their body counts low.
Yeah. So why particularly should it be considered different for men and women?
I think it's important because if you notice, women are usually the ones who are being conquered. They're not doing the conquering, right? So when a woman submits herself, when she gives herself up to another man, she's allowing herself to be conquered by that man. And you have to understand this too about men. Men are the ones who they take energy, right? So they take energy, and so a woman who was going around sleeping with a bunch of men, all she's doing is opening herself up from all those men, all those demons and demons to get inside her, and all that energy to be taken away from her. So it's extremely important. Men and women are different in that area because we aren't the ones being conquered. We're the ones that's doing the conquering. So
What do you mean by conquer?
basically like allowing yourself to be conquered. I don't mean to use a old term, but it's kind of
That's gonna be circular. What do you mean by conquer?
basically allowing yourself to be submissive to a man sexually for the most part.
Okay, so if she's dominant in bed, right, then it seems like her body count doesn't matter then.
You say if she's dominant in bed?
Mm-hmm.
If she's dominated in bed, or are you saying if she's
No, if she dominates in bed.
No, she can't first of all, she can't dominate in bed if she's getting fucked.
Wait, what do you mean? Have you heard of dominatrix?
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so there's literally it very clearly does happen.
If she's doing the dominating, then I feel sorry for the guy. Because
Apparently there are some men out there that are into that. Appreciate the paper crane. Thank you so much, Emily. Appreciate it. Yo, wasn't me. Thank you for the dinosaur. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, do you want to respond to that? Hello? Are you there, bro? All right, everyone, we're going to go into the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. We're just looking for some debates. Again, only send a guest request if you disagree. Yo, Claire, I appreciate the confetti. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, everyone.
What up, dude?
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
25.
For sure. Do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
I think that is like the only thing that matters for women, and for men, I don't think it's important, especially to women.
Why so?
Well, because a woman really her main value comes from keeping herself pure and protecting herself. It's the easiest thing she can do is chase pleasure and have a lot of promiscuous friends. And for a man, that's not a problem we have. We can't just walk around and say like, hey, you want to like link up tonight because we'll get turned down. Guys have value. It's making a life, making money, being competent, intelligent. And a lot of men don't expect that from women. They just want the woman they're going to give their name to, make their children with, make their children look like, give their life to, give their money to. They just want her. They want her to be theirs. They want her to be present and enjoy the experiences together, not been ran through and just settling for a guy. It's like the most important thing.
Yeah, so technically, if you're thinking that like her sleeping around is going to remove or take away from the experience, then wouldn't it also remove or take away from the experience of the man?
No, I think men and women mentally are a lot different in that aspect.
Yeah, can you give me any good reason, scientifically speaking, to believe that there is a statistically significant distinction in the psychological impacts between men and women when it relates to having a
Women
higher
are
body count?
women are far more emotional. I think you can just tell from reality. I mean, you're probably going to say, like, if you can't show me a study that says this specific thing, it's unsubstantiable. But women draw really close to men their first few relationships, and as they move on, they get desensitized. They're very emotional. The way they view relationships are different than men. I think a man can be, he can love a woman more conditionally than she can after she's been with a guy that makes more money, has more experiences, is physically, better looking. When she has been with those 20 guys, when she gets to number 21, who she'll probably settle for because nobody wants her. I personally think that's why the divorce rate's so high in America. I think that people are way too promiscuous and their relationships don't matter. They can't.
So you know that there's not a statistically significant distinction in the level of success in marriage comparative to men and women when it relates to having a high body count?
I would disagree because until the
Can you
70s,
give me a
people didn't
source?
have super high body counts.
Because you're just saying that like you have an anecdotal experience that indicates that this is true.
No,
Right.
you're saying the absence of anybody like specifically trying to prove this one thing, putting money and their name behind it, means it's not reality. I think a lot of people would agree that when you sleep around, you desensitize yourself to a future partner. And I think men
Man or woman,
are
right?
far more loyal. No. And another thing too, men
Yeah, I
offer
would say it's
something
probably
different.
applicable to
Women
both.
offer something different. If her value is mostly based off this one thing, it's going to matter more to the guy. For a woman, if you can take care of them, I don't think it's a main thing for them. Actually, if you talk to most girls, they say, yeah, they don't want to see you with 40 people, but it's not a main thing. Like, you can't just be a bum and be like, well, I'm a virgin. They probably get turned off by that because they don't know if you're competent enough to get other women. They like the fact that other women are attracted to you. That's real. You can ask women that. If you've never talked to a female, and you read the Pew study on like oxytocin's not real and like getting with people doesn't matter, you can believe that. But I think most people would agree with me.
Yeah, so I think
I'll
that
even girls that have
there's a
high
notion amongst men and women in which like there can be other people that validate their attraction in that individual, but not everyone looks for that, right? There are some men that look for that in terms of other men validating their attraction in this particular girl, right? Or other women, right, looking for validation in their attraction for this man, right? I don't think that just because a man is a virgin, right, or has like a 1 or 2 body count, that means that like women are going to be off put or don't want to be with this man. Right. I think that generally speaking, it's going to relate to the values that the man has, how the man treats right people, right, how attractive they are, right, compatibility. Those things would be significantly more valuable to a woman. Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. Right, rather than right what you just referenced.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I appreciate the hearts. Thank you so much. And
I would agree with that,
oftentimes,
but I
right?
think, like I said, it's relevant, and for what it's worth, it would matter. As a matter of fact, I'm sure I would guess. I know there's like no like Ivy League school that's putting money behind this. If you did an experiment and showed a guy on his lonesome at a bar, you could probably detect how little attention he gets from women. If you had a guy getting hung on by a bunch of women at a bar, you'd probably find that women in the bar find him more attractive. Like, do you think that's not reality because Harvard's not made a study on it?
I think that if you're interacting
Like,
with
what
more
world do you
people in
live in?
general, right? I mean,
Women,
people could see characteristics they would like more, right? But generally speaking, yeah, I think that if more people were talking to this one person, this guy was talking to a bunch of different girls, right? Women might be more inclined to not want to talk to that person. Why? Because they're already talking to people, right? Like, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess I think they'd be more. Yeah, status. It's very important to women.
No. There's a difference between
Status matters to women.
status.
Okay.
Hold up. So does it matters to men too, right? Status is different from just like having a few people talking to you in a bar. If people are already making advances on you, right, in a bar like setting, right, that's not necessarily going to increase other people's propensity to like want to be with you. If anything, it might again get them to see this and be like, okay, right, that person's already talking to that individual. I'm not going to like butt in, right?
Okay, again, it was about noticing the man versus not noticing him, not running up and talking to him. And like I said, status in this case means status amongst women in the bar. So, like, like I said, nothing changes. I think that's important for women. And if you look at a lot of guys who are well off or have good status on social media, not so much just a ton of money, like they get
Hey, I have a question.
unlimited attention from women.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is the one follow account that you follow like a clip thing of Nick Fuentes being racist?
I like Nick Fuentes, and if you don't like what
You
he
like
says,
Nick
that's your
Fuentes,
problem.
right?
I love Nick
He's
Fuentes.
extraordinarily racist. He's
Everybody go
literally
check him
a
out.
white nationalist, right?
What's the most racist thing he's ever said?
He's said the N-word right on live many times. Does it literally constantly, like
I
consistently
say
all the
the N-word
time?
all the time, bro.
You say the N-word all the time. Are you white?
Everybody does. Everybody does. Nobody cares.
Are you
Bro. He's
white?
not
Are
a
you
racist.
white?
Are you racist? You're
Are
asking me
you
my
white?
race.
I said, are you white?
Anybody can say
Bruh. Are you white, bro?
the N-word. It matters to the context.
Oh my god, dude.
Nick Fuentes never said anything potentially racist.
Oh my
What did Nick
god.
Fuentes
Like,
say?
why do people like this exist? What do you mean? What do you mean it, dude? Like, why does this happen? Chat, do we need to start having conversations about this? Why are there so many people like this
He's
happened to
drawing
me
a bunch of
recently?
people.
There was a person that came on the live that was arguing that saying slurs is justified, right? Why do you think saying slurs is justified, right? That is actually fucking wild. Why do you think it's justified to say slurs, right? Like that's I
As
might
everybody
actually
can see,
do that because it's like
Nick
actually
Fuentes
ridiculous.
is such a bad person that it's hard to remember one bad thing he said. He's so bad you can't think of a single
I just told you.
contextually racist thing he said. Everybody said the N-word.
Wait.
Every guy in here says the N-word, okay? Let's
Not at all.
lie.
Right? That's wrong, right? You should not be
All
saying the
right.
N-word. If
You
you
can be
say the N-word, you're
disingenuous,
just in
but
the same
me,
position
my
as
friends,
him.
everybody I know says the N-word.
Yeah, and that
I'm not
shows
racist,
exactly
I
who
just
you
said
are
it.
as an individual, right? That shows exactly who you are.
No, black
Shows
people
exactly
use
the
it
type of
as
people
an
that you. Okay,
endearing
he's
term.
lagging so much,
They
chat.
obviously don't care about it.
Yo, he's lagging so much that I'm just going to go on to the next person, but that is fucking ridiculous, right? To sit there and to say that like it's okay to say to say slurs, right, as someone who's white is absolutely ridiculous, right? The level of harm that has on other types of individuals is something that they're not even able to reconcile with, right? And the same notion that if you were to go up to people that they're family members, like let's just give it in this sense. This is distinct from racism, right? Not to say that it is the same sort of way as racism in terms of just like the way that people are impacted, right? To go up to someone, right, who parents, right, say they just got diagnosed with cancer and make fun of that, right? Right? Or to use terminology that is degrading towards individuals and which are like this. After hearing that, that would be wild, right? That would be wild. So why don't you see it to be the same way when we relate to racism, right? When we relate to the violence that is caused due to racism, right? Or the violence that is caused due to homophobia, right? These things are ridiculous, right? I actually, chat, I'm not joking. Like, I do think I might do that because that's happened multiple times recently, right? And I think that we need to address that. Let me go on to the next person again. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We're just looking for some debates, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Not expect you. I was just gonna say hi. I like your videos.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for the hand tower. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're going to go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree. Again, we're just looking for some debates, everyone. Tap that screen, y'all. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, y'all. We're almost there, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 19.
For sure. Do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
I would say it means a little bit more. I wouldn't say that it should. I would just say in general it means a little bit more.
In general, it means more for women. Why?
I would say that men just value it more than what women do.
We're talking what should be the case. So just because currently men right now, like value that doesn't mean it should be the case, right? Because it is the case that throughout history, men valued women to be 12 through 16 for purity, right? But that doesn't not mean it should be that way.
That doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. It's an opinion.
Did you hear it? No. You said that most people, like, they value this, right? Who are men. Well, it was the case that most people who are men valued that.
Okay, but that's something that's totally morally wrong. So this, I
Okay,
wouldn't
well,
say.
yeah, you think it's. I think it's morally wrong for you to consider.
It's my opinion. It's my opinion. I can have my opinion. You can have yours. So.
Yeah, and I think it's more. I think it's morally wrong for you to say that body count should matter for women but not for men, but without giving any type of evidence, right? I mean, not any evidence, any relevant distinction between men and women. That means that it should apply to women and not men.
I never said that it shouldn't matter for men. I said it should. I think that it
To
matters
a
a
different
little bit more
degree. Yeah,
for
so
women. Yeah.
give me a justification for that.
So I would say that
Hey, can you just tell me your birth year? Because people in the chat keep saying so.
why does it matter what my birth year is?
Just tell me your birth year. If you can't tell me your birth year, I'm gonna go on to the next person.
Go on to the next person. Then you don't need to know my birth year.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You already told us your age, smart one. Like what? What is, dude? What is reality, honestly? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello.
Yeah, how old are you?
Yes, I'm 30.
You said what?
I'm 30.
For sure. Do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
No, I think it's about response. Women respond positively to guys with high body count than guys with low body count. In general, mostly speaking, it's about generality.
Yeah. So if it is the case that men respond a particular way, doesn't it mean it should be that way? For
I don't
example,
think
right? Go
I
ahead.
don't think it should be or it should not be, but I think women
Oh, okay.
respond.
All right. Well, I'm just looking for people who disagree with the topic, but I appreciate you coming
I
on, man.
disagree with you.
You don't, because you said you don't care about what should be.
No, I'm saying that.
What's up, Aiko?
What?
Nothing.
I didn't get that. You said you asked a question.
Oh, I was saying hi to a friend in the comments.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I'm just saying that okay, why should it matter more for women is because women carry the next generation, right? So since the body of a woman is more more precious than a man's body, right? To carry, women carry children, men do not carry children, right?
Okay.
You agree?
If it is the case that a woman is infertile and can't reproduce and carry children, does her body count not matter?
No, I mean, we're talking in general. I'm not talking about specific women. In generally speaking, women carry children. Generally speaking, yes, there's some women that cannot reproduce. Yes, of course, unfortunately, but mostly women carry the next generation. So to be able to carry the next generation, they have to take more care about their body than men do.
Yeah, so
That makes sense, right?
one, there would be men if they should also take care of their body in the sense that they can pass it to women if they engage in intercourse, right? And then two, when it relates to this, if they are infertile, then their body count wouldn't matter then, because then it doesn't matter
Yeah,
whether
I
or not
guess.
they actually reproduce. So in the sense in which someone is infertile, right, or cannot reproduce or carry children, right, then it seems like it wouldn't matter in that scenario.
Yeah, but you understand that more the we're talking about the general the majority, right? Majority of women are not infertile. Most women are fertile, right? We're talking about the majority. So if you're talking majority, women have their body matters more than men. That's why you hear something like women and
Hold on. Let's
children
not talk about
first.
majority for a second. Let's go
Yeah.
back to the scenario where we're talking about this individual circumstance where they're infertile and they can't produce children. In this situation, does their body count not matter?
In what situation?
That they're infertile, that they can't produce children.
In that case, it shouldn't matter because it doesn't make any difference since you cannot carry children, a child. It's more about if people say it should matter, is more about morality, like how do I say that? Society as a whole than an individual, because society. Let's say you can do whatever you
Wait, so
want.
hold up. Let me clarify. So once someone gets old enough and becomes infertile, then their body count doesn't matter. Or
Yeah,
shouldn't
it
matter.
doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter because it's
So it only matters prior to them having kids. So if you don't want to have kids, does your body count matter?
as an individual, it doesn't matter in the sense that if we are free, everybody can do whatever he wants with his body, right? But as a whole, society as a whole, to keep moving forward, women's body should matter in that sense, as a whole. Because let's say each woman starts saying, okay, you know what, I don't want to have children. I'm free to not have children, right? Let's say every woman on the planet start thinking like that way. What's gonna happen is that there will be no more new generation since nobody want to have children. Everybody want to be free. Everyone. So
Oh wait, so do you think it's wrong for people not to want to have intercourse with people?
no, I'm talking about children. Intercourse. No, I'm talking about children, not
Yeah. If you
intercourse.
don't have intercourse with people, then you can't reproduce, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
so if
yeah,
you can't
no.
reproduce because you don't engage in intercourse, is it wrong for someone to not want to engage in intercourse with people?
um, it's wrong because it affects, because if everybody think like that, it affects the whole planet, the whole species, human species. Because you have to understand something. Yes, I can do whatever I want. You can do whatever you want. Anybody can do whatever they want. But if we think in such a individual way, what's going to happen for the whole human species? You know what I mean? So let's say somebody decide that is in his house, is trying to create something dangerous like a chemicals thing, and you telling him, oh, that's not good. He's saying, no, I can do whatever I want. I'm in my house and I can do whatever I want with what I have, right? The point with that way of thinking is that anybody can do whatever he want in his house, but that can affect the whole society
I'm
step
so
by step.
confused.
So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
so confused.
dangerous way of
So
thinking.
like so you're saying if it doesn't affect the rest of society, then it's not going to be something that's considered to be bad. Okay. Right. If it is the case that someone engages in intercourse with a bunch of people, they don't get any STDs, they get tested, right? Then they produce a child, right? Is it in that scenario, does their body count not matter?
The problem is that it's about it's not just what does not affect me or what does, it's about, you know, um society can be affected by morals, by the way people behave.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Listen. So you can't pass anything on to a child, right? If you are tested and you don't have any STDs, okay? So
No, you
even if
cannot.
someone
No.
has had a bunch of partners, you can't pass anything to the child in that scenario if you don't have anything, right?
Hmm.
Therefore, it's going to be the case that their high body count shouldn't matter because they don't have anything.
Yeah, but there's a part you're missing. In your way you think, you talk, it's like you're saying that there's no psychology affected. Let's say there's nothing physical being affected. There's no STI or anything. But do you think that there can be like a mental thing? Do you think we can affect people mentally, or do you think it has
Yeah.
to be
You
physical?
can affect people mentally. I'm confused what your point is.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why even if you do not like physically affect somebody with any disease, you can affect people with the way you behave.
Okay,
If you agree with that.
can you give me a statistically significant distinction amongst men and women that says psychologically speaking there are different impacts in terms of men and women when it relates to how they act?
I do not have a statistic right in front of me, right? So, but what I can say, right? I always try to use common sense, right? I try to be as logical as I can be. Women receive fluids from men. You can agree with that, right?
And men receive fluids from women.
No. Like, uh,
What do you mean?
okay, I'm going to explain. It's really simple. When there's penetration, let's say we don't use any protection, there's fluid coming from the men going into the women, right? It's like logical. Like, I think we can agree with that, right? It's really simple. A fluid comes from the men, it goes into
Yeah,
the women.
it also happens when it relates to men, right? Like if you kiss someone, right, your
Mhm.
DNA is going to go in between each other, right?
Mhm.
If you are you wearing a condom in the scenario where you're engaging in intercourse, well then the fluid would not necessarily go inside, right?
But
So
yeah, that's a good point. But the difference is the fluid going inside the woman like that. I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. It can stay there for longer than 1 day. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
it goes away pretty quickly though.
I don't
Sorry man,
think it
I'm
can.
really confused with what you're trying to say here.
What I'm trying to say is that since the woman can receive a fluid from one man and even for multiple men, she will stay with multiple fluid inside her body. That would not be good for her womb but the
Oh, it
men,
doesn't
but
say,
men,
it does not stay in for that long, right? No, that's definitely not
I think
true. So
it's
there are
the
cleaning mechanisms with
there's the
inside.
DNA, there's the DNA that stays here for actually many years.
Can you give me
You
evidence
can
of that?
Google it. Huh?
Can you give me evidence of that?
Yeah. Yeah. You can Google it.
What's the title?
Um. Uh. Google right now if you have the something in front of you.
Yeah, what do you want me to Google?
Semen staying in the inside the vagina for many years, something like that. The DNA as well. You can Google it now.
All right. Um, live up to a couple hours as long as 5 days after intercourse.
Yeah. Okay. Check the DNA. DNA.
DNA. Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
I think it's 7 years or something like that. 7 years, if I do
All right.
remember.
Well, I don't know where you got this information from.
So let me check
Yeah, we
it.
we will look. Wait, so actually here's my question. Right? If it
Okay.
was 7 years, how come we can't figure out in every single scenario who raped who then? Because then we would just be able to find the DNA, right?
But grape is different because grape is not about if she has a DNA. Grape is about if it was forced. It's more like
Yeah, but
you
but
know
there
they
would be
have the
DNA, right? So
yeah
we
they
in
have
every single scenario we'd be able to tell, right? If they didn't use a condom,
yeah normally yes I think so
right?
yeah
And that would be able to last at any point in time, 7 years even after it happened.
yeah I think so yeah.
Yeah, but we can't
Uh
do that. How come we
no
can't do that now?
I have to look for it. I don't have the like I'm on my phone like it's not like practical for me to look for it now. But yes, but my point is, I understand that I don't have the whole information in front of me right now. I understand that. I agree with that, right? But my point is, women receive fluid from men. So because you understand that a woman body is really delicate. It's not like men body. Can you agree with that? Do you agree that there's a fundamental difference between a man's body and a woman's body in terms of
Yeah,
delicacy?
generally speaking, there's a difference, right? But the
Yeah,
point I
generally
was making,
speaking, right?
hold up, the point I was making is that if it was the case that we
Yeah.
had the ability to find DNA even 7 years after and it's salvageable and we could determine who it is, well, then it is the case that we'd be able to solve all these grape cases that we currently have not solved. That's
Okay.
exactly why I reject your hypothesis here that we have this ability.
You know what? I give you that point because I don't have any documentation in front of me. So I'm a logical person. So yes, you win on that. I cannot prove that now in front of me. But what I can tell you, I was focusing more on my point. My point is women receive fluid and it can be damaging for their body, generally speaking. Men do not receive fluid like that. Men's body is stronger than women's body. It's just fact. Like you can agree with me, right? A woman's
A
body
man's body is
more
wait, can you give me evidence to say that a man's body is
is more.
stronger than a woman's body?
Can I
Like
give
in
you?
what sense? Like do you mean like they have stronger muscles?
Okay, stronger muscles, and it's more like it's less delicate than a woman's body. Like it just I don't like it's
What do
like
you mean by
common
what do you
sense,
mean by
right?
delicate?
Delicate like it means like we have to treat a woman's body with like how do I say that? You have to be soft with like you have to with care. Sorry, with care. Like we cannot just like touch a woman's like that. You have to be. We have to know how to touch a woman's body because it's not like a man's body. I don't know if
I'm really confused what you're trying to say here.
yes, you have to be gentle. You have to be gentle when a woman like
Gentle. So, I don't know. That's like a
you don't
prescription
know
in
what
terms
I'm
of like
talking
what.
about.
No, that's a prescription in terms of like what we should do, right?
Okay, yeah, you should do that. Like you can.
Yeah,
Do not agree with me.
that's not a description here as to why say one is stronger than the other or something like that. It depends on like the context of strong you mean. Brett, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. And are you saying that just because one would be stronger than the other, that then means that like one can have a high body count and the other can't?
Yes, is there's a factor into that as well. Yes, because
Okay, so what about okay, so if a woman is stronger than a man, can she have a higher body count than the man?
no, because it's just a part of the argument. It's not
Okay,
just about being stronger.
so
It's
what other things are relevant?
What other things relevant in what body count or
Yeah, and saying that a high body count should matter for women but not for men.
no? Should matter more for many matters too, in a sense that uh us men we can get really um like how do I say decentralized. I don't know how to say that. English is not my first language, by the way. Sorry about that. We can get really like used to changing partner all the time and get like addicted to that. So in that sense, I believe that it affects us men, but not as much as women. That's just my argument. But yes, it affects men too, but not at the same degree than women. Desensitized, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, those psychological impacts relate to the same when it relates with men and women. Right? There's actually like no statistically significant distinction between a man and between a woman. That means that you know there'd be more impacts to a woman than a man. Can you like this claim here relies upon evidence?
Yeah, but uh, there's like really general like idea that we can discuss without having an evidence in front of us. Do you agree with that, or do you think that everything that
I
we
don't think
know
everything does, but the claim you're making right now does rely upon evidence.
that women's body is more delicate than men's body?
Wait, sorry, say
That's,
that again.
you're saying that saying that women body is more delicate than men body should need an evidence to prove it. That's what you're saying?
Oh, more delicate than okay. So I mean, I just don't know what you mean when you say that necessarily.
Because women's body is more
Because you
delicate,
just made a prescription. You just said that you should treat women nicely.
yeah,
Okay, I understand, right? Like, but like by delicate, do you mean just like women have lower pain tolerance? Do you mean that women have less muscles or?
uh, delicate. You know what? I'm talking more broadly about the fact that women carry children, so the next generation for that and in that case they more like we have to protect them more. It's been like that for forever. Like in history, human history, men are always or like always inclined to protect women. Why is that? Because they carry the next generation. It makes sense. Like it's a normal thing. That's why we
So
are
do
the
you not have
protector and the
so
provider.
is there no inclination to protect women that are infertile?
It doesn't matter because you know why? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna answer your question right now. Because even though a woman is infertile, to begin with, fundamentally speaking, she was a woman when she was born. It wasn't about if she's fertile or not. If she's a woman, automatically she's in the category of a woman, whether she can have a kid or not. It's a it's a fundamental thing. Now, if eventually she cannot have a kid, that's another story. But fundamentally speaking, if she's a woman, we have to protect her as a man. We are protector and provider. I don't know if you agree with me on that or not, or do you think we do? As men, do you agree that we are protectors and providers or not? Do you agree with that?
I think that both men and women are protectors and providers. I don't think it's specific to men.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't think that men always carry the title of protector and provider at all?
No,
You
I
don't
don't think
think that?
always. I don't think it should be the case always as well.
You don't think it should be like that?
Yeah, no, I don't think it should only
Oh,
be men and
okay.
always be men. It should be
Okay.
both men and women.
So in the situation where we are outside, somebody attack, like you walking around with a woman, you don't think you will have like the impulse to protect her in case of danger, and she's not gonna give you back that protection. Do you think she's
Blue
gonna?
Kirby, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. I don't give people stuff because they necessarily give it to me, right? The same thing would be true with like a friend, right? I try to protect a friend, even if it's a man.
But okay, let me tell you something. Women want to feel safe with a man. It's like automatic. Like it's not. I don't even have to explain that. It's a it's a like a biological response. Women look for men to be safe. That's why women will look for will go for a taller man or a stronger man. It's a natural thing. Like we saw that in biology. Like I don't have to. It's not even an argument there. Like they look for protection. provision. It's a normal thing because if she get pregnant, she's the most vulnerable. So she want a man to protect her. Us men, we do not have that problem. Us men, we do not
Trinity, thank you
get
for the
pregnant.
subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Trinity.
Us men, we do not get pregnant. So we don't have, you don't, yes, a woman can protect me, but not as much as I can protect her. It's just,
So this
generally
isn't based
speaking, of
on. This
course,
isn't
I'm
based.
not talking about,
Hey,
yeah. Yeah,
so
go
this
ahead.
so this isn't based upon the notion that it's like of like just gender. This is based upon the notion of one's ability to be able to have like stronger muscles, right? Faster reflex time, right? Things like that. That could be relevant to being able to protect an individual, right?
Stemming from biology, yes. It's a
Okay.
biology thing.
Sure, there's biological influences to that. I'm not disputing
Mm.
that. I'm so confused how this relates to the topic, though.
It's related to a topic because you were asking why the body count should matter more for women
Yeah,
than
yeah,
men.
yeah. And how does it relate to that?
It plays in that because women need to be protected. Why? Because
Doc, thank you so much.
their body is more precious and more delicate than a man's body. It's just a fact. Like you know that yourself as well. Like I know you know that.
So when it relates to this, again, you're just saying that women need to be protected more than men, right?
Yes, absolutely. No question asked. Absolutely.
I think that both men and women need to be protected. I don't understand
Women
why you
more
would
than
say
men.
that.
Women. What do you think that we always say women and children first? What do you think that? Like, if there's a war,
That's sort of just something that's existed within society.
it's always been like that. Even in the past, women. If we want to save people, we save women. And like the Titanic history, right? You watch the movie. Like I'm just giving like it just pop out in my head. Women, children first. Why is that? Because they're more vulnerable in generally speaking, than men. So of course we're gonna have to protect them. So the more toll a woman's body receive is not good, generally speaking.
So there's two notions of protection here. I appreciate the cat. Cat, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Blue Kirby. So one notion of protection is like limiting one from engaging in violent action towards the other, and then the second notion of protection is not engaging in intercourse with more people. Right?
Yeah,
Those two
damaging
notions of
body,
protection are
damage.
not the same.
Yeah, but the how do I say that? Like a virgin woman versus a woman that has a high body count, right? The virgin woman, her body is more preserved than a woman that has a high body count. Would you agree with me, or would you say no, it's not too true, or whatever? Or would you say it's the same? Like,
I don't know,
yes.
dude. Why? Can you tell me why that's relevant? What do you mean
But
by
it's
preserved? Like
relevant.
they just didn't engage in intercourse? The man
But
in the same scenario is more preserved, apparently. Preserved as in like didn't engage in intercourse with more people. All that is a statement, a restatement of the claim that they didn't engage in intercourse with
it's
as many
it's
people.
not the same though, because men how do I say that? Men do not receive, women receive. It makes sense, right? Like in the intercourse, right? In the intercourse, mostly okay, yes, you can come with exception, but most of the time the man is the one that is dominating the intercourse. Would you agree with that? Generally speaking, of course. I know there's people that have their
Dude,
preferences.
I don't know what you mean by dominating.
Dominating means that um, in the act, the man is the one that take control. Women look for the guy to like to do something like even in the like the initiation of the act. Women will wait for the guy to initiate. Would you agree with that, or
And
it doesn't?
like
Tell
initiate, like dude. Okay, so someone initiating the action, does that have any relevance to whether or not it matters?
It matters because
If women initiated, would it matter for the man more?
no, because if we
So an
initiate, we
initiation
take
doesn't
control.
matter.
We take control of the intercourse. We the one that have to perform. Actually, women will complain most of the time that he didn't do anything for me. What do you think women complain more? Men, most us men, we not complaining that much because we know that we have to do the thing. But women complain because they wait for the guy to perform. If he does not, if he don't perform, they will be like, it wasn't man enough. That's coming from women's mouth. That doesn't come from men's mouth. Right? Women are the one that want the men to perform most of the time. Generally speaking, of
Dude,
course.
I just these are just claims based on your anecdotal experience.
And what?
Yeah, like your personal experience. Where'd you get this from?
Wow. Okay, but by the way, there's something else. You were talking about the fact that we were talking about women love men with more body count. Actually, women love guys that have a lot of women around them. Like, if you
Stevie, I
can,
appreciate the hand art. Thank you.
you agree with me, right? Like, when a woman see a man with a lot of women around him, they tend to be more attracted to that man than if the man don't have any girl around him. Would you agree with that? You
Sure,
agree with
right?
me.
Like
You
they're
agree with
like
me.
sure, like they're but the same thing could be true for the other way around.
No, that's the thing. It's not
I
true
don't know
everywhere.
most scenarios. Like I just like I don't know why like people ask these questions because like how the fuck are you supposed to know? Like really, like
How
how
do
do you know? Like
you?
do you know what other people like? Like do you just like know what people's preferences are?
But you don't need to know. Okay, celebrities, right?
Like, can you answer my fucking question, please?
How do I know? How do I know that?
Yeah.
I know that with observation. I know that with like studies. I know that with like just even personal life, personal
Observation
experience.
studies. What study?
Others men
What
experience
study?
like. Okay, I'll give you an example. Celebrities is a really best example. You have Chris Brown, you have Drake. You can watch it on TikTok, you can watch it on YouTube or whatever. Those guys have high body count, right? They have that's a fact. We can see that women are still attracted to them, right? Because they
It's not necessarily related to their body count, right? So like I
it's a
mean,
part of
it
it.
can be the
It's
case
not
that
only that, but it's a part of it. It's
wait,
a part.
there are women who are corn stars that men are still attracted to that have
Just
high body
yeah.
counts.
Guess what? There's a caveat. There's a thing on that. Yes, men are attracted to women that have high body count, but for short term, for pleasure only. Most of the time. Most of the
So
time.
you're saying that men objectify women with higher body counts?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and do you think that's wrong?
I don't think it's wrong or right. I think it's just nature.
What?
I think it's nature. I think it's a like
You don't think
women.
it's wrong to objectify
Okay,
women with higher body counts?
I'm gonna answer your question by stating something. Women like men that are taller than them. I don't think it's right or wrong. I think it's just biology. Like most of the time, they will go for a guy taller than them. Do you think it's right?
How the
Do
fuck
you
did
think
I
it's
like
wrong?
I'm actually like so
What?
confused how that responds to me. Like can you please
It,
like give me the corollary?
the correct is that men will love something, women will love something. It's not right or it's not wrong. It's just the way they are. It's not the way we are. As human, we tend to we tend to like certain stuff from our gender. It's not something is wrong or right. If a woman likes somebody taller than her, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm mad because she likes somebody taller than her. I know that is in her biology.
Dude, I
It's
just
a
like
natural thing.
what was the
Generally
point that I
speaking,
made? What was the point that I made?
you made the point that men are attracted to women with high body count.
Yeah, no,
Like,
because what point did you make? I said it in response. You said that men are or women are attracted to men that have high body counts still. I said
yeah,
men are still attracted to women that have high body counts still. What's your point?
and my point was for just pleasure, for pleasure, not for long term relationship or
I
stuff
don't
like
see how
that.
that's relevant, right?
It is relevant, absolutely relevant because
I don't think people really care about
long term relationship.
no, like people like Drake or whatnot. They probably care about the status or they probably care about the money.
But women care about long term relationship. Would you agree with me? Most of the time,
More
would you
women
agree?
care about long-term relationships than men, sure.
Yeah. So that means they value that, they look for that when they want to they go for a man. But the man, if he sees that she has a high body count, he will go for pleasure only, not for long term. That
Why is
most
that
of the
relevant?
time,
Please tell me why that's relevant, please.
that it is relevant because you were saying that women love men love women with high body count, and I said it's just for pleasure.
Yeah,
Yes, it
tell
is
me why that.
relevant.
You just restated the claim again. Can you tell me why that's relevant?
Okay, it's relevant because that's why women should not have high body count. That's how it's relevant. Because if they get high body count, men will just be interested by them just for pleasure. They will not like that.
Okay, so if it is the case that a woman is only interested in a man for pleasure and a man only
And
engaged in intercourse with women who are interested in pleasure, would that man's body count matter?
we, men's body count don't matter for women that much because they value experience. They value a man that have success with other
Did you hear
women.
my question?
Go ahead.
Dude, why did you respond
No,
to
I
something
didn't get
that
it.
like you didn't hear my question?
No, because I was quoting. Your question was go back with your question. I didn't get it. It was a little bit confusing. Sorry. Can you
Then
repeat
why
your
didn't you say
question,
you were
please?
confused?
But I felt like you didn't formulate it the right way, so I was trying to correct it with my answer. But that's my bad. Can you repeat the question, please?
I actually don't even remember the question. Do you remember what I said in the question?
Yeah, you said something like since women value pleasure or something like that, and women do not value pleasure like men value pleasure. Yes, women value pleasure, yes, of course,
I
but
have no clue. I have no clue what the fuck I said, honestly.
they value long-term relationship more than pleasure. Us men, we value pleasure more than.
I don't see how that's real. I don't think that's related to what I was saying.
But you agree with me, right? Most I
No.
think we agree. No,
No, clearly I don't agree with you.
but my arguments are clean. You can see my argument. My argument are well put together. I think you can agree with that.
I don't even know what your argument is. I really don't.
But,
Maybe I just can't understand this amazingly well put together argument.
but tell me something, because some stuff I'm saying you seem surprised. Just a question. You can feel free to respond. It's a personal question. Tell me if you're okay with responding it. If you're not, that's okay. Completely fine. Are you attracted? Are you heterosexual? That's a
Yeah.
really normal question, right? You are perfect. I guess in the past you, I don't know. Are you in a relationship or?
Wait, why is this relevant?
Yeah, because I was going to ask you because I was going to ask you if you approach your current girlfriend or your current partner. Did you approach her? Did you call her? Did you like invite her for a date or something like that?
Yeah, I
It's
ask people on dates sometimes, sure.
okay, yeah. But you will say you agree with me then that most of the time it's men that like initiate dates, right? That organize the date. You will
Okay,
agree with me,
and
right? Yeah, and why is that? Because as men, we are the pusher, and when you go on a date with a woman, most of the time as a man you should pay. You agree with me, right?
I'm so confused why we're bringing this up.
I'm bringing this up because you can clearly see that there's a kind of a role as a gender. As a man, you have a certain role. As a woman, she has a certain role. Do you agree with me? Or I'm talking generally speaking. I'm
I
not
don't
saying
think
that
you
it's
have to,
always the
but
case.
I'd pay, yeah.
Yeah, you pay most of the time.
I
But
would, but that doesn't mean you have to.
you don't have to. But most of the time, I feel like that's the right thing to do. Me personally, that's how I see
Okay,
things.
what's your point?
My point is, as a man, in that scenario, we are providers. We provide the date. We make sure that it's all done. And when we're on the date with the woman, we have to protect her. Do you agree? We have to protect her. It's
Are you
mostly
just gonna ask me all the same questions you asked me earlier?
no, and brings to something. It brings to the fact that um, women are to be protected. like we protect her physically, but we protect her. It means that their body is precious in that sense. So if a woman has a high body count, that means she doesn't take care of her body like that. It's like, generally speaking, of course, I'm not saying that it's completely the case, but generally speaking, she doesn't take care of her body. So it loses that preciousness in a sense.
Okay, so can't you say that? So like by preciousness, you just mean that like they're not a virgin anymore. DJ Blue, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. You could say the same thing about a man. Okay, these same notions are applicable to
But
men.
but that's the thing. Women do not value men's body like they don't feel. I don't think they see men like a
Women do
precious.
think that. Yeah, many women think that body count matters for
Would you
men.
say majority or minority?
I don't know if it's majority or minority. I don't
But
know.
I will guess
Appreciate the
majority.
marvelous confetti. Thank you. I don't know if it's a
Majority of women do
majority.
not care.
Appreciate the confetti. Thank you so much, Kaylee. I don't think it's a majority. We can determine it's a majority for men either. Appreciate the confetti. Thank you.
But something you can actually guess. How was I able to guess some stuff? Like we agree with some stuff, like, oh, you go on date, you pay for the date most of the time. It's not something, you do not need a statistic for that. We know that most of the time men pay on a date. It's just a fact. Like, you do not have
Hey
to.
man, can you make a point, please? I'm sorry. Like I've been really trying to listen to you for like the past. I've been trying to be nice, but I have no clue what the fuck you're saying. I'm really really trying. I have no clue what's going on at all.
But
Appreciate the invite. Thank you.
by the way, I want to say something. I like your lives. You're a really good guy. I like the way you argue. You really respectful and stuff like that. So that was something I was going to say at first. I forgot about it. So really appreciate the way you carry yourself. You're a really good inspiration, by the way.
Appreciate it, bro.
You know what? I'm going to let somebody else come on. I took too much time. Sorry about
No, you're good,
people
man. I
that
appreciate
really
you
like
coming on
my.
though. It was good talking to you. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You as well. All right, everyone, go into the next person. Tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, everyone. Let's try to get to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. We're about like 6 hours into the live, everyone. I wanted to stay on for a while today, though. Kaylee, thank you for the gem gun. I appreciate it. Lucy, thank you for the Henry. If people want me to switch topic, I don't know. Maybe I'll switch topic. Maybe we could do like a short abortion live or something. Or the slur topic that Matt made. Would y'all prefer that over what we're doing right now, everyone? Abortion, or here we can do abortion, or we could do the beta one. Should we try the beta one actually? Because Matt didn't make the slur one. Matt made the beta one. He sent the beta. Why am I a beta? The beta one? Do y'all really want that one? Lucy, I appreciate the Lucy Llama. I appreciate it. Thank you. Beta boring? Who knows? I mean, if people think that would be boring, I mean, we don't have to do that one. We'll see, everyone. We'll see. We'll see what people think. Should we hit a restart on the live, or what should we do, everyone? Or should we just like put it behind me in terms of the background right now? Don't do it. Collab with Dean. Maybe we'll do that here pretty soon. Change the topic behind you. Don't restart. Switch background. We'll just switch background. Okay. All right. We're gonna switch background real quick. Everyone, if you want to help get it out to more people, y'all, tap that screen. Let's try to get it out to more people, y'all. If you do